Yeah, I know, but we have to wait for the clicks, right? The clicks. We have to wait for the clicks. Well, I start mine.
It already went.
Yeah, we're done.
What's going on, guys? We're back for another episode of the Phillies Special Podcast. We're your host, Victor.
Brandon.
And today we got a lot of topics to cover. We have rumors all over the place. So first, we will start off. We just have the regular crew in here today. No guests. Just me and Brandon, the way it should be for a while. And we got you, our audio engineer. You can hear him back there. So he's here.
No more Boston fans.
No more Boston fans. We're done with that. Yeah, that's over.
That
is over. Yeah, that was just a little phase. So first we have, so after the All-Star break, we had, unfortunately, some unfortunate injuries. The news about Joel Embiid came out with his apparent knee tendonitis. He was out for a week. And then we have Korkmaz out for the year, apparently, with the meniscus tear. It hasn't been official that he's out for the year, but if he has surgery, that's about it. And then we have Zaire Smith, Brett Brown saying he doesn't expect to see him for the year. So we have those unfortunate. So with Joel Embiid and his injury, what do you think? Like, well, they should have played him in the All-Star game if this was like a thing.
Yeah.
So now that he's out with the knee, what do you only for a week though? But what do you think about him playing in the All-Star game? And now, is this like another Sixers medical staff messing up, or is this just like?
It wasn't. I think it was solely just Embiid. You know, I think the medical staff, and the coaching told him, "You gotta sit this one out." But Embiid, he's hungry. He wants to play every All-Star game, and it's the All-Star game. He wants that. He needs that. He's never gonna sit that out. I don't care if he was walking on one leg. He's gonna still try to play somehow. He's gonna turn it into the handicap league or whatever he's gonna do. He's gonna do what he has to do to play. So that was more of a Joel Embiid decision. That probably the coaches or the medical staff wasn't involved in. I mean, was it a smart idea? No, definitely not. You should have sat that out, and waited because that could have been a detriment to your team. But, we'll see how it plays out.
Right, yeah. So hopefully it's just a week and he comes back to the court healthy and it's not a big thing. So next is Korkmaz with his meniscus tear. Now, he was the one ounce of bench shooting we had after the trade that got rid of Landry Shannon. So now that Korkmaz is down, where do you think we go to for shooting? If it's about JJ Redick, and that's probably about it. Like Tobias Harris, I think that eliminates all the bench shooting we have at this point.
Yeah, and remember a couple episodes ago, I said that. I think we should have worked a little bit more on our bench versus trying to bring a little bit more stars in. I think we're going to see the effects of that, pretty soon. Because, like you said, now we don't have anybody coming off the bench that can give us that little spark. I would say I don't really like what I see from Tobias Harris from the 3-point line so far. He's more inconsistent than consistent. And you know how I'm inconsistency, you guys. That's a big thing. But he looked good the first couple games, and then I was watching the last 2 games, and he's looked kind of off at times.
I think he'll get that together. I think he'll 3-point shooting will be all right. And
but
by come playoff time, I think he'll be all right. I think he's still hovering around 40%. No, I think he's at 38 last I checked.
30. It dropped. What was it before 43?
He was 42 from the field before the trade.
You said 43.
42, 43, something like that. He was up. He was lower.
42.8.
0.8. He was 43-ish. From 3 before the trade. So I think he's about 38 now. Not the end of the world. I think he'll be all right. But now Korkmaz, if that holds true that he's down for the year, then that'll be an unfortunate loss for the bench. So we'll have to figure out how to recover that shooting. And then Zaire Smith, we were all holding on to hope that maybe we see a glimpse of him, but it doesn't look to be that way. Did you want to see him this year, or does it not really affect you as far as him possibly playing this year, or possibly being a piece we could use for the playoff run?
I mean, I always want to see the new guys get a chance to play. I mean, I didn't expect them to get sit down to the G League. I mean, I never saw that.
He sent to G League for one day, and then we recalled him back.
Yeah. So what was the point of that? Like, why did they send him there?
Probably just to
get him some extra playing time.
Get some experience.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like that's a slap in the face.
Yeah, well, hopefully.
Because you didn't even get to see what he could do actually on an NBA floor.
24 hours later,
you know what I mean? Do we even get a chance to see?
Well, a lot of players get sent to the G League when they're recovering from injuries just to get some court time and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So it didn't surprise me that they sent him down to the Blue Coats or whatever the team is. So we'll see how that goes. But hopefully we see Zaire Smith next year. Mm-hmm. Korkmaz. Not that he was like a big deal, Korkmaz. Like him going down, I don't think drastically changes the roster, but we did need that spark of shooting. And the Embiid thing, hopefully this is just he's just getting rest and he'll be back for the playoff push, because it was a shock to everybody. When I saw his name come up, and I was like,
yeah, here we go again.
Yeah, we're not doing this. I don't know if this is the Sixers medical staff screwing up like always. So
I mean, you gotta admit, Embiid, that's Embiid's team. He's got a lot of say in what goes on. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's as big as LeBron controlling his organization, but he gets a say in it. They're gonna try to push and pull and tug and try to get him to sit his butt down. But at the end of the day, I want to play. They're gonna let him do what he wants to do. You're not gonna cause friction between a good star like that.
Yeah, he does have a say. This is reminiscent of back a couple of years ago when he played in that Houston game when he was hurt and he dropped 30 points and then he was shut down for the rest of the year. That was his rookie year.
Yeah.
Excuse me. His rookie year when he played those 30 games and they shut him down. And then that was the whole rookie of the year situation. Do they give it to Joel Embiid for 30 games? And that's when they gave it to Malcolm Brogdon just because he played the whole season. He won by default that year.
Yeah.
So
even this season, they played Embiid long stretches when they probably should have sat him down like he was hurt.
Yeah, when we had that, what was it, a 17-game stretch or something like that? Yeah, we were all talking about that then too. He definitely should have sat up, or even less minutes maybe.
Yeah, exactly. We're up by 15 in the fourth quarter. I think Embiid can sit down.
Yeah, there's no reason why he should be going all out.
4 minutes left.
Yeah, so it makes no sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. So well, hopefully Joel Embiid comes back and the Sixers will be okay because we certainly miss him. We barely beat Miami the other day, and then we got lost handily to Portland. So I think, in my opinion, this is going to sound rough, but I think it's pretty pathetic that we are without Joel Embiid, we can't even beat the lower tier Eastern teams when we have players like Tobias Harris and Jimmy Butler and Ben Simmons, and we having a hard time beating teams like this.
Preach.
So we like Joel Embiid. I understand he's the best player on this team, but we shouldn't just fold after. We shouldn't just fold. You know what I mean? Like you can't fold without Joel Embiid.
That's a big chunk of your offense right there. And defense too. That's a big factor. How many rebounds does he get a game?
Who, Joel Embiid?
Yeah.
He's averaging 13 at the moment.
Yeah, it was rhetorical.
Oh, it was rhetorical? I was like, that was a real question. I was like,
no. I know how much he's getting. That's what I'm just trying to show how big of a factor it is losing a guy like that. Not even that, but he averages over 2 blocks a game.
Yeah. Also too.
Exactly. And he's a big scorer. He averages 30-something points a game too.
Right. Yeah, so definitely makes sense.
Yeah, that's a regardless how you slice it, that's a big. I don't care how good your team is, man. That's going to affect it in a negative way.
Right, yeah. So next we have a lot of rumors that have swirled around the NBA and the NFL in the last couple of weeks. So number one on the list. So our favorite guy, Sam Hinkie. I don't know about for me.
favorite guy,
Sam Hinkie. He's being considered as a Pelicans president. So we might have Trust the Process Part 2.
You know why?
After the AD thing is done.
Yep, that's exactly what I was going to mention. I'll say, here we go with the Trust the Process Part 2, New Orleans edition. We don't know what's going to happen with AD. I doubt they're going to build the team around him. So we might even see him get, moved around this offseason, when it's all said and done. And what are they going to do? They're going to, tank on purpose?
Yep. Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen. Well, that depends if the league stops it or not. Because you know how we had to hire – the NBA forced us to hire the Colenzuelos just to stop us from tanking.
How many years in, though? That was like 3 or 4 years in.
The whole process was only 3 years. I hate when people say the process was like 6, 7 years. It was like 3. We tanked for maybe 3 years.
That was what Dr. J said. They said the plan was 7 years.
7, yeah, that's a long time. That's a long time. I don't, if he did say that,
we tanked for 3 years max.
I'm just saying what they said the plan was. Like it
was a 5-year plan.
It leaked out that Dr. J was in a meeting with them, and he said the plan was a 7-year plan. Yes.
So we beat the process, so we did it quicker.
Yeah,
right. That's fine. All right.
Well, I think so. Here's my take on the process and when it's over. I don't think the process is over until we make it to the finals.
I think it's over now because once you trademark it, the point of the process was to put us in position to make a playoff run. We have the players now that put us in position, so the process is done. Now it's up to the players to deliver. The front office has done everything they could do to put us in that position.
The process is definitely over. Yeah, the commercials they put.
But the new slogan.
But put it like this: we made the offseason last season. Look what happened. This year was still part of the process. So what if we do the same thing we did last season? We make it to the first round, and we get to this.
We better not with the team we got.
Yeah, if we can bounce in the first round, then we need to start the process.
I don't think you can say the process is over if we're still mirroring last season.
Yeah,
we got a better record.
We have a better record.
Yeah, we have a better record, but the thing is, like a postseason push, like you said. We didn't make that yet. We don't know what's going to happen yet. So until we have a successful or semi-successful postseason push, I don't think we have the right to say the process is over.
So where do we need to end up for you to say the process is over?
Finals.
Yeah. Finals or bust.
We have to do better than what we did last year.
That's second round. So if we get to the Eastern Conference Finals, then the process is successful.
I'd rather make it to the finals. So process.
ECF Game 7.
At the end of the day, when you look at the process, that's supposed to be the end result of the process.
I know. I understand that. The goal is to win a championship.
Yeah, that's the goal.
The main thing of the process was to put us in position to even make that run, which we're in.
But we tried to make that run last season. But why are we? If we tried to do the same thing last season, why are we still in the process?
Actually, so to be more straightforward, the process was so we can put us in positions to acquire stars. So this year we legit acquired the stars, like Tobias and Jimmy Butler. So this was the real process. Like this is it right here. Once we got Jimmy Butler, I thought the process was over at that point. And now that Tobias came, this is really it. Once Markelle Fultz went out the door, that was the last project piece we had, and now it's over. So now it's like full steam ahead. So if we don't do it this year, then we'll have to go back to the drawing board. But
well, I feel like it's not over yet, you guys. Tighten your seatbelts
we'll
a little
bit.
I don't think it's over just yet. I think we're all getting on a high horse a little bit. We're gonna wait and see.
So
I
same Hinkie.
mean, the only problem is the team has to gel.
Exactly.
I mean,
I
the
think it's gonna
process
take longer than
itself
normal.
is over. It's just a matter of chemistry now.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, and I think you usually need more than half the season to gel completely.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. So, yeah, I mean, however far we go in the playoffs this year is great, but it's really be looking for next year.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, definitely. So Sam Hinkie to the Pelicans. How happy for that? Well, I mean, it's not our team,
I don't
but,
care.
but yes, happy. Okay, for Sam Hinkie to be back in the NBA, it's interesting that he's being considered. So that's next. So next
You
is
know why? Because they might actually just use Hinkie as that plug. That okay, well, you're gonna tank your team. Okay, go
as long as we have Hinkie, we're okay to tank, and nobody will yell at us.
Exactly. Yeah, he was set from above.
And if they do, we can look the Sixers like you let them do it for them.
Yeah, he was set from above.
Right. So next we have.
Go handle that.
Yeah, handle it. So next we have Landon Collins expected to leave the Giants. Well, this is another. Again, this is a rumor mill. We don't have confirmation of any of this, but Landon Collins is expected to leave the Giants. How do we feel about that? Well, again, not our team, but Landon Collins is a pretty stud safety, and for him to be, and he's pretty early in his career. So for him to, the report was he left his locker and kind of took everything out, and looks like he's played his last game with the Giants. Yeah. So our thoughts about that, if any.
I mean, that would be a nice pickup if Philadelphia could somehow get Landon Collins. But the big factor, of course, like always, situation is how much will we have to pay the guy. I don't know what his situation.
Don't know anything about the numbers.
Exactly, I don't know anything about his contract or anything. Yeah, it'd be a lovely pickup, but I'd have to dig a little deeper into finances and see if that's smart business wise. I don't know if that's a smart business move. He might be looking for a nice little bonus or something. There has to be something a little bit deeper of why he wants to leave the Giants. It might be more financial, more money than it would be on the surface.
True.
So we have to look into that first before we can touch that a little bit more. But that'd definitely be a lovely pickup. I'd love to see Landon Collins.
Even though McLeod's coming back in, I guess we'll have Malcolm Jenkins for another year. So I don't think the Eagles would really look at him. I'm surprised they brought McLeod back altogether.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but it would be nice to have Landon Collins because McLeod.
Well, he's young.
He can stay healthy. Yeah, he's young. Yeah.
But Landon Collins wants field time now. There's no point in waiting. So maybe McLeod would have to back up. So that
would cause some friction.
Friction as soon as he gets traded.
Yeah.
So next on the rumor mill, Le'Veon Bell seeking $50 million in his first 2 years of a new deal.
He's
25 a year. Sorry,
he's not going to be an Eagle. Based off of that, you are not going to see him in midnight green.
Yeah, so
it's not going to happen.
So I thought it was far fetched even to believe he would come to the Eagles in the first place. But now he wants that type of deal. That means if we were to bring him in for that kind of money, we would constantly all year long be wondering if he's playing up to his worth, basically. So every single game, is he playing worth the $25 million a year? Is he doing all that? And we could have got him back in the draft for next to nothing and get the same production.
And you know what? We're gonna be so focused on that, we won't even be able to enjoy the little things he does. We'll be so focused. Oh, he messed up there. 2 yards. And we're playing you $25 million to run 2 yards.
Right.
This little stop and go. Why are you stopping? We're gonna nitpick every single thing he does.
That's exactly how that's gonna go.
That's not gonna be enjoyable. It's like, why do we even bring him here? We're just gonna critique everything.
Right. I love Le'Veon here, but at that price rate,
no,
that's not gonna happen. Expected interested teams in Le'Veon: Jets, Eagles, and Bucks are the teams listed.
Scratch the Eagles.
So I will cross the Eagles off that list. Jets would be a good fit. They got Sam Darnold over there, and I don't think they have any running backs that I can think of.
Yeah, I don't think you'd want to sign with the Jets though.
Oh well, maybe not. No. I would see him at the Colts if anything. I heard some stories about that. So who says they want to go to the Jets? I was about to say.
Well, A-Thoven.
Yeah, that's the only guy. So next, the next, and that was reported by Jason Lockefour, by the way, about the interested teams.
Good job, Jason.
Yeah, good job, Jason. Next we have. So the Warriors have internally discussed trying to sign Giannis in 2021 free agency if KD leaves.
What?
Yeah. So if the Warriors somehow find a way to get Giannis, this is in 2021. This is sometime down the road. But if they can't retain KD, they're going to start to put things in place to try and go after Giannis in 2021.
Davis Stern back.
I'm just going to put the earphones down now. I think it's over. I don't do anything else.
We're going to end the show early, guys.
There you go. That ends the process. Right? Like there is no process anymore. It's just
on that note. Yeah. So if the Warriors find a way to get Giannis, and if Clay stays, which I probably think he does, if it's Steph, Clay, Giannis, that might be just as bad as what we have now as far as DeMarcus Cousins. Even though he's playing. I think DeMarcus Cousins is playing at 50% at most right now.
I'll tell you what. If that happens, we'll never complete the process.
We'll do it in the East, but as far as the West, it's over there.
No, but the process is the whole NBA. It's not trust the process in the East.
The process is hard when the Golden State Warriors are here. We can do it. We were talking about we can't win as long as LeBron's here, but now he's in the West, so now everything kind of opened up a little bit, and that's why the East is so fun to watch. And LeBron is, the Lakers are free falling over there, so we have to figure out what they want, even though they just beat the Rockets the other night.
Well, they can figure out what they want. I don't care.
They can figure out what they want. Oh, by the way, quick thing regarding the MVP thing from last episode. Did anybody see what Paul George did yesterday? 45 points and the game winner in double overtime over the Jazz. So he's over James Harden at the moment.
I take back everything I said last podcast.
It's officially
he's doing it. He needs Russell. He doesn't need Russell.
No, he don't need Russell. So it's officially So James Harden is really.
I'm sorry, you guys.
Yeah,
I could get a little, over by myself sometimes.
MVP.
It'd be real disrespectful if he didn't win it after all he did this season.
Exactly.
Like, James Harden?
Yeah,
but he already has one now. So
yeah, but come on, man. Like nobody has ever done this. Like if you don't win it, that's a slap in the face.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but even so, like Paul George, if Paul George keeps playing at this level, it's gonna be hard to deny that. And so that's just 1-6 because I remember we had that whole argument last one.
But it was just one game.
Just one game. But Paul George has been doing it for a while. But that game yesterday was like, So
yeah.
So last on the rumor mill we have Russell Wilson has demanded a trade and prefers to go to the Giants.
That's.
Gotta clear my throat on this one. So the Giants, if they get Russell Wilson. And they have Saquon.
Forget about Nick Foles. I'd rather see Nick Foles in the Giants jersey than Russell Wilson. Go ahead, go to New York, man. I didn't want you to go to the NFC East. Go ahead to New York.
I didn't even know Russell Wilson had issues with the Seahawks.
Here first.
Get Nick Foles in New York, man. I don't want Russell Wilson in New York. That can't happen.
If they find a way to get Russell Wilson in there, I haven't seen anything since that report, and the only source I've seen that report from is from Colin Cowherd, and we all know how not reliable that is. But it's a fun story to talk about because Russell Wilson finds his way there, and they have Saquon and Odell and Sterling Shepard and Evan Ingram. That's going to be a hard team to stop.
No, Chris, no,
Chris, no.
You don't need Russell Wilson.
Once I saw that, I was like, "Oh, there's no way." But Russell Wilson doesn't seem like a guy to go and kicking doors down. Like I'm going to try. Like, he doesn't seem like that kind of guy. But I understand the Seahawks are falling apart. They haven't been the same since the Legion of Boom fell apart. And I don't even know who's. I think Earl Thomas is a free agent this year, so that's the last piece of that. And he's kind of the one carrying the offense at the moment. So if it wasn't for him, they wouldn't even make the playoffs this year. So I can see why he would want to get out. It's just surprising that he would prefer.
The running back's pretty good too. I forget his name.
Chris Carson.
Yeah, Chris Carson.
He's decent. He's pretty good.
They have another guy too behind him that was kind of like beast mode.
I know you're talking about, but I can't remember his name.
I can't either. I'm sorry.
I know the guy. We'll find the guy for you.
He's a hard runner. He's definitely a hard runner.
So we have special treat for this podcast. First time ever, we're going to talk some baseball. So we try to do some due diligence. Not our best sport, but we wouldn't be a true Philly podcast if we didn't at least address the big sport in Philly as far as Bryce Harper and the shenanigans of him not being signed to this day. And we thought, so me and Brandon were talking about it, and we were like, him and Machado must just be staring at each other and be like, you signed first. No, you signed first. Like, and never the first one to sign, then the other one was signed. So Machado got that 10-year, $300 million deal with the Padres. So we thought, all right, so here's the thing before we get to the money. So these baseball players, for them to be this greedy for this money to play a sport with no contact and that is never played in inclement weather and it's always warm and they want this much money is baffling.
This is how you're going to start off the first baseball?
Yeah, this is how we're going to start off because these players get paid the most. These players get paid the most money of all the sports, and then they're going to demand all this money to play in warm weather sport with no contact.
Yeah, no contact. You're right.
Never get touched. Yes.
You can get nailed with a 90-mile-per-hour baseball. Have you ever felt that?
All right, yeah, but that's not the compared to players getting tackled every play.
When you got that concussion, you got Alzheimer's at the age of 56.
That's a slim percentage of anybody getting hit with that kind of ball.
But it's still
you get tackled every play.
If it's not zero, it's still possible.
Dude, but they do play a lot of games. They play
that is true. 182 games. That's why I can't follow.
Headers, back to back. I mean, they
do their thing.
A lot of games.
They do their thing.
So the recent report is that Bryce Harper's agent is trying to sign for $325 million.
Oh my God!
That is what's holding up. The other teams are out because they feel wary of, for one, paying that much money, for two, trying to have him for 10 years at that rate. And he's only 26 years old, so he'll be good for the 10 years. And if we're able to sign him, it would be the biggest deal since we got Cliff Lee probably, or Jim Thome in that regard. So it's just a matter of do the Phillies. I think the Phillies are the only ones in it, and I think it's coming down to if the Padres can match it or not. And I just don't think the Padres will tie up $600 million in Machado and Bryce Harper. That's a ton of money in two players.
Yeah, I think it was when I said earlier that I was dumb about the Machado situation. There's a report that came. Yeah, no, it's not dumb on Machado's part. It's dumb on the Padres' part. And the reason where did Machado come from?
What team?
Yeah.
He got signed he was traded to the Dodgers last season.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
but he was like similar to Jimmy Butler's situation. He was a free agent at the end of the year and could sign with anybody. So he went to Padres.
Oh, there was some situation where he admitted open face that he was the last thing was he was jerking them around for money. He was just jerking them around, and that like he didn't really he kind of just like half behind everything. He just wanted his money and he wanted out. He never wanted to be there, and he openly admitted that. And the Padres still took him. Like, what if they did the same thing? What if he does the same thing there?
Machado on the Padres?
Well, Machado,
well,
that's what I heard.
And Machado also comes off as like a diva kind of.
Exactly, he's like the OBJ of the MLB.
Yeah, so that's why. So people, this isn't my words, but people have told me if a clown, I didn't say that, but if a clown like Machado gets that kind of money, imagine what Mike Trout's going to get in 2 years. They might as well just throw him $1 billion right now. Like, that's the only thing that's holding it up. We might as well just pay Bryce Harper that. But some stats about Bryce Harper is that since 2015, he's top 10 among MLB in slugging percentage, home runs, and walks. And he is tied for most in the league in home runs at Citizens Bank Park among active players. So if we could bring him in here full time, I can't imagine how effective he would be. And at 26 years old, so I think the Phillies would be more damaged if this deal didn't get done, just because they know the perception of them. If they don't, they already missed out Machado. If they don't land Bryce Harper, their perception around the league is that no free agents want to go there. So then the Phillies will have a hard time landing everybody else. But they did get the best catcher in the league in Realmuto, who is apparently the best friends with Bryce Harper. So everything is kind of lined up. It'd be foolish for them not to get Bryce Harper at this point.
Yeah, and there's a little rumor going around too on the grapevine that Worth, one of the next Phillies, Worth told Bryce Harper that Philly sucks. And that's one of the Worth.
Oh, Jason Worth?
Yeah, Jason Worth.
Jason Worth, that guy.
Told him that Philly sucks.
Well,
that's just a rumor, you guys.
Jason Worth is also not the most friendly guy. So.
Yeah, but he was really loved in Philly. For him to say that got a lot of
True. Yeah.
But it is a rumor that he did tell him that Philly sucks, and that might be and when he has a chance to go with this team here, that team there, especially LA or even New York or something, somewhere warmer Florida, something like that, you're gonna pick that location every time over Philly. Like nobody really just wants to come to Philly over a warm city. You can go to anywhere else in the world, but you want to come to Philly. If people want to come to Philly, those are the hardcore guys. I think if you don't want to come to Philly, you're soft. So if Bryce Harper doesn't come to Philly, you're soft.
You know what we're gonna have to do in a future episode? We're gonna have to figure out
they're scared. That's why they don't want to come to Philly.
We're gonna have to figure out what the stigma is around all sports, what the reputation is. Like, so if a player considers Philly, I wonder what other people are saying to them about Philly. Like,
they strive. The people that want to come to Philly, they strive off of criticism. They're tough. You know what I mean? They like that. They run with it. You could say whatever you want to them, and they're gonna come and they're gonna show you wrong. They're gonna prove you wrong. They're not scared of that. But these guys that are, I don't know.
Do you think Philly's a hot spot for people to come to when they're free agents?
It should be. If you really want to step up your game.
What is the reputation on the league? That is my.
The reputation is that we're hard fans. We don't care about our players and organizations and stuff like that. We're just mean. We're nasty. But we want to see good. If you're getting paid X amount of dollars, way more than any of us regular people are making, we want to see you do some magical stuff.
That's different by different sports too.
It is, yeah.
So it might be, we might attract Phillies, like the Phillies might attract a free agent faster than the Sixers would, for example, or the Eagles.
Yeah, the Eagles would definitely. Eagles is definitely.
It depends on the sport as well.
Yeah. Eagles is definitely top on the list of the NFL. People rather come to Philly for football than per se baseball or hockey. I know. Well, definitely, I would say I would put the Sixers on the bottom of that list. Well, definitely. As free agent wise, we could trade whoever we want, but as far as when was the last big name free agent we had come to Philly?
From any sport?
For the Sixers for
free agent.
Yeah. It's been a minute.
Free agent.
Exactly. That answer right there was my answer that I was looking for. It's been a minute.
See, this is the reason why they traded for the guys they did, because they know they're going to have a hard time trying to sign these guys.
They could never.
So we're going to trade for them, so we can offer them the most money, and then we'll have no choice but to stay. Free agent signing. I'm going to have to think about that.
Exactly. It's been a while. We haven't had a good basketball free agent signing in a long time. You can't put your
And the thing about the Eagles is that players want to come here just because Carson Wentz is here. So that's the main reason why Alshon came here and things of that nature. So that
not even that, but after we won the Super Bowl, they saw how the fans reacted and what happened to Philly, what went down, and especially when the NFL draft was here. They saw that. They loved the energy. Players live for that. If you really love the game and what you do, you live for that. You want those reactions out of your fans. Nobody did it like Philly did it.
Right.
They want that. They want that energy, And until somebody sees, let's say per se baseball or hockey, I know we won, championships years ago, about 10, 11 years ago, whatever the case was. They want to see that again. They a little refresher. Like these guys care too for baseball and hockey. And so guys right now, they just think that they're critics and they're not going to go anywhere. They're just going to bring me here. I'm going to run the team, and then we're still going to suck.
Yeah.
That's really what it is at the end of the day. And then, like I said, the people that really are kind of about coming here, I label them soft. Like, I don't know if you want to hear it or not, but you're soft to me. Like, if you can't take constructive criticism and you can't get better and you don't want to get better and you like just being regular, you're soft.
Yeah, so you see this here in the chat. So we had somebody say people hate Philly. That is not what. The thing about him is that he's a Giants fan. This guy right here in the chat. So he's a Giants fan. So he's gonna say that people hate Philly.
That's right. We'll give you Nick Foles, man. You can have.
You're gonna have Nick Foles or Russell Wilson, whatever you end up with. But this, I'm gonna get into the whole big.
I have to start screening.
Yeah, we're gonna have to start screening who gets in this chat. You need to pass the background and all that.
We need to expose these nuts.
People always have such a bad stigma about Philly fans, and that isn't a thing. People are like, you guys are the reason why everybody hates the Eagles. But I'll tell you what, ever since we won a Super Bowl, I'm not hearing anything from any fans, and I haven't heard any ringless jokes this year. Wonder what happened to those.
Yeah, they're going after me. Cowboys again, once and done.
Oh, he's a Giants fan. So
I know, but I'm just
never made it to
the playoffs. An example.
Yeah, Cowboys did go 1-2. But Cowboys always go 1-2. Oh, what? Oh yeah, but Dallas went 2. Dallas. Oh, they won their wild card game.
They did.
Yeah, then they got cracked. That's it. So yeah, that was a win for Dallas though to win. This guy. All right, this chat is getting nuts. I'm not. Let
me ask you, Ken. Where do you live?
You live in South Jersey, right?
The greater Philadelphia area. Get out.
I think
but my dad.
Yeah, that's pulling it down.
Right.
All right, so next topic we're going to address real quick before we get to the next fun segment we have. We have Zion Williamson and the unfortunate injury with him. And, well, I think he'll be okay.
Get your money, young blood. Get your money, young blood.
Yeah. So what happens is that he busted through his shoe, and I think it's just a knee sprain or some type of sprain that he has. So he'll be okay from it. But then now the argument is that
once he got tendonitis, that's what it is.
Everybody got tendonitis. So what's going on?
That's two facts. I think you do. You saw me play basketball.
You got tendonitis for like 3 years now.
Listen, you guys. Every time I hit the basketball court, I go, extremely hard. You know me. And my leg gives out every single time I had to play. I can't play ball anymore because my leg is, But he has the same thing.
That's what Zion don't have that same effect. So now the argument is that should these players be playing in these big games without getting paid and risking their careers at this point? So I think Zion's safe to the point. He'll still get picked number 1, and the injury doesn't seem to have been too substantial. But what if it was something detrimental that he would have been out for his whole first year of college? Then what would have happened?
So, not even that, but it could be that we want to get extreme. Like, you could have a career-ending energy in college. You never know. Mm-hmm. Especially if you don't have the finances to cover your medical bills and stuff like that. Because you have X amount of money. You can get certain treatments that not regular people can get. You can heal from certain stuff that you couldn't normally heal from and expect to return from. But that goes back to
that heals ACLs.
The Android.
That magic pill that heals your knee.
Shout out to Devin.
Shout out to Devin, man. I don't know what he was talking about.
That's why he had to kick last of that. I told him you're not coming back.
Big pharmaceuticals, you got the inside connected. So I told you had the cure for cancer.
So the two arguments would be made. So 1, should the players be played in college, or 2, should they just be able to come right out of high school and go into the draft?
This is an argument that was going around a couple years ago too, and I was a big part of it. At first, I think it was about 2016 or something like that. I was like, no, I don't think they should get paid. Why? They're getting their tuition paid. But after seeing this, I think they should. A little, even if it's something small. But if you're going to be a prospect and you were looked at since high school and you're going to go this far and you give them a scholarship, I think you should get some sort of compensation because like this situation happened. You injure yourself, and that's your whole professional career. Your aspiring professional career that you could throw down the drain based off an injury, and you're not getting anything. You're not getting any money to take care of yourself. None of that. Exactly. That kind of, I just think that's not fair. And then the NCAA makes millions and millions and millions. You're selling tickets in
how much ticket? You know how much they were selling those tickets for the Duke UNC game?
Right. $500. Yeah, I know. It's ridiculous. You're making all this money from this venue.
They were like Super Bowl tickets for that game, and Zion gets mad. And he's the reason people are coming to see it.
And you got March Madness, and you got this sponsor.
And he's out 52 seconds to
Where is that money going?
Where is that money? And they're not seeing a dime of it. A dime of it. You can say whatever you want, how you slice it. If they're you can say, oh, they're paying their scholarship with no. A scholarship is not even an eighth of what they're,
Yeah, they can't eat a scholarship.
All their scholarships combined is not even a 32nd of what they're really making and what they're bringing to NCAA. You're not even giving them $1 an hour.
It's plenty of people on scholarships that can't get lunch though. You know what I mean?
That meal plan kind of rough.
They're eating oodles and noodles and stuff.
They're not even making waitress wages.
So a lot of people were saying, I seen a lot of Twitter takes were like, so they're saying, well, Zion got injured, but good thing he got that scholarship though.
What's the scholarship in your knee?
Exactly.
Is a scholarship going to earn you, earn your professional career if you're injured?
Exactly.
What's that scholarship going to do? Yeah. Business administration. Yeah. No, running the business. I get it. Running a business is good. That's going to take a lot longer to get your money running a business than it is in 2 years in the NBA. And you just ruined your career because your coaches and your organization, the NCAA, didn't want to pay you because you already got a scholarship.
Right.
Man,
and
that's
if
not
they're not
going
going to pay him, and if they're not going to pay him, then just have him go straight from high school to the league. Then
right.
So now we can.
And that's why these young guys, and that's actually why these young guys usually make that decision. They want to skip college altogether because one, we all know if you don't have a full ride, you're going to be in debt. I don't know anybody unless you're the son or daughter of some wealthy business mogul or something like that. You're not getting through college without taking out a loan. You're not.
Unless you were like valedictorian or something.
Exactly.
Grants,
that's why I said without a scholarship.
I didn't.
Yeah. Pay attention, man.
I didn't hear you.
But yeah, it's just not happening, man. I think these guys need to make some money, and then, like you said, they're living off of oodles and noodles and microwave and TV dinners and stuff like that, peanut butter and jellies and grilled cheeses and stuff. And, these guys should be eating, they need to load up on their carbs. They should be eating that, muscle maker grills and, getting their spaghettis and their pastas and, stuff like that. Why are they eating ramen noodles? I don't know. But that needs to change. That's not acceptable to me.
Yeah, so that's why it's a big thing. So if Zion is okay, my opinion is just need to shut him down for a year. Don't risk anything else, and just have him go into the draft and hopefully be okay from that. Yeah. So,
but let this be a sign to the rest of the NCAA.
Yeah, all the next picks, RJ Barrett, all you guys.
Because at the end of the day, Zion, he's also putting people in those seats. He's putting butts in those seats.
Right.
These players,
$2,500 tickets, just
exactly,
just because he was there.
They should get some type of commission. I sell cars. They should get some type of commission for that. If you get somebody if I get somebody, a customer through the door, and he sees somebody else, I'm not there, I still want my cut because I got him in. He's putting these butts in these stadiums and these seats and everything. He's selling out these tickets, man. How come he's not getting anything for it? That's a steal.
He came out his shoes, though?
Yeah, he came out his shoes.
Yo, Shaq, he broke backboards, but this man is breaking his own shoes. This man is that big, he coming through his shoes.
Oh, my goodness. That's ridiculous.
You got to get him some specially made joints.
Yeah, he's some steel soles or something.
Right. So that wraps up our Zion topic. So now we have a fun topic coming up. It's going to be...
They're all fun. What do you mean fun topic?
Well, yeah, they're all fun. But this one's going to be a lot of debate. So this is going to be fun. So we have our... how do I put this? We have our top 5 busts in Sixers history. In lieu of the Markelle Fultz trade, our top 5 busts in Sixers history. This includes drafts, free agents, contracts, and trades. So before the list, I had a couple honorable mentions. So first honorable mention was Kenny Thomas from back in the day, back in the Iverson days. He was signed to a $50 million contract for 7 years. Never amounted to that. And then we had Jahlil Okafor, who wasn't. We can't really call him a bust because he was okay. It's just that we couldn't use him the right way.
He was a bust,
and he couldn't play defense to save his life. And he couldn't play defense to save his life. So
that's the thing. I don't care if you don't have. I don't care how much offense you can play. If I don't see no defense, it's like no.
So that's why he was.
You can score points, but they can score points too if you can't stop them.
Right. So we have number 5 on the list of Sixers all-time busts. Number 5 is Sean Bradley from the 2nd overall pick in the 1993 draft. Before our time, he's number 1 on the list.
Number 1
of all time.
Nah, go ahead.
Oh, I was like, oh man. So Sean Bradley was taken 2nd overall in the 1993 draft. So this was the year actually after the Sixers traded Charles Barkley, and they had to find their next star. And that was the draft Chris Webber was taken. So they were like, man, who's the next best?
That was the draft I wasn't around for. You
yeah, I don't think I was around that time. It was a few months before I was born. That was in June. I was born in November.
Wait. But we couldn't get Webber, right?
We couldn't. He went number 1, and we moved up to the draft, but we could only move up to 2.
So, yeah, horrible owners, man. Cats was terrible.
Yeah, it was horrible. And he was taken ahead of Penny Hardaway, Jamal Mashburn, Vin Baker, and Allen Houston.
And they gave him the number 76 as if
he said, "You are the mascot. Yeah, you are the mascot," because he was. You know why? Because he was 7'6".
Yeah, I know. but it all tied in too. Though.
Triple play.
Come on, they don't. Ain't nobody else had number 76 for the 76ers.
Yeah,
so you're basically trying to say he is the 76er of all time.
Yeah. So he had a season-ending injury in his rookie season, a dislocated kneecap. He averaged 8 points, 8 boards, and 3 blocks. And then he was traded in his 3rd year from to the Nets for Derek Coleman. So that's number 5 on the list, 2nd overall.
I agree.
So yeah, number 5, under Chris Webber and above all those players. So all right. So number 4 is you gotta hold your breath. Elton Brand, current GM.
How dare you?
Current GM. This is no disrespect to what he's doing right now, but Elton Brand, listen.
Hey,
he looking at me. All right, you gotta hear me out. You gotta hear me out.
With this list,
Yeah. Oh, okay. So,
No,
this is what we have. So this is what we have. So Elton Brand, they signed him to. So the year after he tore his Achilles, he was signed to a 5 years, $82 million contract. So before we touch anything else, why would you sign somebody to that kind of contract a year after he had a torn Achilles? You don't know if he's going to come back from that or not.
Because he is the one you call Elton Brand.
That's all we do.
But that's what the Sixers
signed
do.
A whole bunch of power forwards that were washed. I don't know why we gave him.
I said Elton Brand was watching that time.
What I'm saying is he was injured, so we didn't know what he was, and we did the same thing with Chris Webber. I mean, we did that a lot.
Yeah, so Elton Brand only played 29 games in this first season, and then he had a season-ending shoulder surgery, and he only averaged in his duration.
I remember that. Oh, that dislocated shoulder.
Yeah. And so what happened was that in his tenure while he was on the Sixers, he only averaged 14 points and 3 boards. That's not a bust, y'all.
That's a dude who didn't come back from injury.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so a bust, and we paid him $82 million.
See, this is the thing. I don't think it's his fault. I think it's our fault for paying him that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't give nobody that. I mean, look, we know he came back from a horrific injury. Like, he's lucky to even be what he was. You know what I mean? So I don't think he's
the Sixers,
as much as that was a bad decision on our part.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
like, why would we have some crazy expectations that he was going to be the Elton Brand he was before the injury?
Exactly. So that was the whole thing. That it was a bust. I wasn't saying like Elton Brand himself was a bust. I'm saying it was a bust for the Sixers front office to even sign him to that contract in the first place.
When you say bust, I'm feeling like it's the players' fault. Like,
no,
I don't feel
bust
like
bust isn't like the worst contract signings.
as far as bad contract, well, yeah.
Oh, I know that. I was talking about like players. Yeah, that's a whole category.
He didn't live up to his so basically players that didn't live up to their expectations as far as contract, draft stock, or what we gave up to get them.
Listen. Yeah, I mean, like the management, we're gonna put that in a different category as far as how they viewed it and what you think. But as far as an analytic standpoint, based off, like I said, given the circumstances, his injury and his age, I don't think he was a bust compared to that. Like, what did you really expect from a guy that was coming off?
They must have expected something when they signed him to $82 million.
But look where he's at now. They might have seen something with his ties in Philly. He might have had.
Well, they saw Clipper Elton Brand. That's what they saw, and they were hoping he would come back to that.
But they knew that it was going to happen.
Do you think they knew that when they signed him?
I think they knew that.
Yeah, not so much.
Because the talk, I remember this. It was a long time ago, but nobody had high expectations for him.
I don't remember the town blowing up about it.
But it's just Elton Brand. Like, there's some certain guys that you just have to pay for the fact of who they are.
Yeah, true.
You know?
Fair enough. So
especially if you're making X amount of money,
so you would take them off the list?
Yes,
I would definitely take. I would take Elton Brand off the list.
All right, that's fine. And replace him with who?
Well, let's go.
Okay, we'll go. All right, so we'll go the rest of the list, and then we'll add your own. All right, so number 3 we have Evan Turner.
I think that's a good number.
Evan Turner, second overall pick in the 2010 draft. He averaged 11.5 points, 5.5 boards.
I got a little caveat on that though.
Go ahead.
The problem is with that, like, we played him out of position. We tried to play him at a 3. And right now he's playing the 1.
Evan Turner?
Yeah. He was
as a 6-man for Portland right now?
Right. He runs the point. He runs that second team. And that's what we should have did with him. We should have had him run the point. Well, not be a 3.
Well, out of college, he's best with the ball in his hands out of college. He had the highest usage rate in college, and then we didn't do that when
you know what's crazy is that he was in college anyway. Supposedly he was better than John Wall.
Yeah, he went first in that draft.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, if we would have used him right, it might have been different.
But even so, it's up to the player to be functional in the limited amount of play down.
He said he wanted to play point. They refused to play him. And that, so some of that is our fault. It's not but the coach's fault.
I think more often than none, that's the problem in Philly. It's not necessarily the players you get. I think it's just the scheme. No, it's not even trying to fit them in the scheme. It's whoever's coming up with these schemes, be it a coach or whoever it is, they're not scheming right. I don't know. We need better, better analysts. We need better scouts. I don't know what it is, but we're not scheming the right way. And I noticed that they are, and it's not even just Brett Brown. It goes back to Mo Cheeks. Like, it's just like we're not scheming the right way.
Eddie George.
Yeah.
So you would leave Evan Turner off the list?
No, he's
on the list. You better stay on that list. Do you know the players we took? Do you know the players we took him ahead of? Do you know that list?
Yeah, but like at the time.
No, do you know that list?
I mean, I know for one that John Wall was right there.
Yeah, he was number 1. So
shout out to John Wall.
And then he was taken ahead of DeMarcus Cousins, Gordon Hayward, and Paul George in that draft.
I mean, nobody knew Paul George.
Well, of course nobody knew. But if you go back and look at it, at least Evan Turner's still in the league, so it doesn't look horrible.
Right, he's serviceable. I mean,
All right. So we agree on that. Number 2, Markelle Fultz.
Who?
Markelle Fultz.
Who?
Okay.
What was his number? Was that his number 2?
Markelle Fultz is number 2 on the
MF?
No,
yeah, he is an MF.
He was 20.
He was 20. He was 20 jersey number. Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah, so number 2 on the list, 2017 overall pick. He averaged 23 points and 6 assists in college, and it never translated to the Sixers.
I don't even know who that is.
I don't know who Washington. When I tell people, so what's funny is like I work with some older people, and they have never seen like clips of Markelle Fultz, like in his college days.
Watch college.
So I told them to look it up on YouTube, and they're like, I don't recognize that player at all. I don't know who that guy is. Obviously, none of us do. He played only in 33 games. We can argue if it was injury or mental, or if he just had the yips, or whatever the situation may be. And then he was diagnosed ultimately with that thoracic outlet.
Oh, is that crybaby that sat out with the shoulder and he can't make a jumper because of his shoulder? That guy? No, I know who Michael Phelps is.
That's the one.
That's the one. The crybaby, the one that let his mom do all the talking and he just sits down. Yeah, the one who can't even talk to his agent about playing again.
And now some Markelle Fultz. So we'll touch on
him.
So I felt bad about him getting traded, but I'm starting to not care now because have you seen? Well, because I wanted to not give up on him and see if he could at least come back. But now he's talking. Okay, so now he's talking. Now he's talking crazy, saying like, "Oh, I'm glad I'm on a team that will push me," and throwing all these shots at the Sixers. So Markelle Fultz, first,
you're a Philly guy,
man. Nobody, we supported him like no other team would.
Nobody pushes you more than Philly fans.
Right. So how
Brian Colangelo drafted you? He's gone. All right. So be mad at Colangelo because we ain't want you anyway, dude. Colangelo made that happen. So you want to go and talk crazy? Just remember we ain't want you in the first place.
Right.
Okay. The fire GM got you here.
the fire GM. It's like a Chip Kelly situation.
That's what he was fighting on Twitter about.
Get Sam Bradford. get the Sam Bradford of the Sixers out of here.
He got to do something.
That's what I'm talking about. Get the Sam Bradford of the Sixers out of here.
Before he starts talking, he got to do something. You ain't show nobody.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think he's even shown up for Orlando like practice.
All he did was whine a bunch of times.
Drafted number 1 now. So now we have number 1.
Marquis Sleeves.
Anthony Bennett. Anthony Bennett. All right. So now we have number 1. The player I'm sure we all
insert drum roll.
Andrew Bynum. My heart.
Absolutely.
My heart, number 1. So we all know
we got rid of Iguodala.
Traded 2012. Traded Iguodala to Denver. And then we sent Nikola Vucevic to the Magic and protected number 1 pick.
Yo, Book was that dude, man. Collins did not play Book, man.
And we sent them the number 1 protected, the first round protected pick for that too.
I think we can actually honestly say that we could argue the fact that might be like the actual like starting point of the tank.
It was,
right?
Yeah. That's what kicked it off. When Andrew Bennett come back, and we were like, "That's it. Now we just gotta lose games."
That was it. That was the start of it all right there. So he deserves that number 1 spot.
It was a terrible contract.
Never played a game. Persistent injuries. The bowling alley's story.
That's another. Yeah. So what's up? Like the bowling alley, like folks with the 4-wheeler or whatever.
Yeah.
Man, all these people getting hurt doing other than basketball activities, man. Like, they shouldn't get the contract should be void.
Where's the discipline?
There wasn't any at that time.
There's no discipline now too.
Who was the guy leading at the time? Was it Stefanski? Was that the guy? Ed Stefanski?
Yeah, well, yeah. Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, was he the guy leading the charge at that time?
Just like Ben Franklin.
Yeah, that's
or Gorbachev or somebody.
Yeah, that was like Doug Collins. Was that after Doug Collins? Was Doug Collins coaching at that time?
I think so.
Yeah. The coaches we went through.
I like Doug Collins, man.
You like him as a player?
I like him as a coach. Well, both. I definitely like him as a player. But I like him as a coach too. He wears heart on his sleeve. He a little emotional, but he don't like rookies. That's the only thing I don't like. He never played rookies.
Me and you, Victor, we went to a couple of games with Doug Collins as coach. Remember nobody was in the stands?
Yeah, we went to like an Orlando game and when Tim Frazier was the starting point guard.
You had like degrees, but then you just walk up to the front anyway and sit because nobody's there.
I think tickets were like $4.
Right.
With hot dogs.
With hot dogs.
Anybody who's watching,
free parking.
Anybody who's watching, leave in the comments your takes on Sixers bus, or we're gonna do Eagles bus down the line. But if you want to throw yours in now, you could definitely do that. So that's our. We have it was Andrew Bynum, Fultz, Evan Turner, Elton Brand, and then Sean Bradley. We talked about Kenny Thomas briefly and Jahlil Okafor as Thomas wasn't a bust. Okay. Is there any other players you guys want to add in that list that you can back and brave about? Any other busts from the Sixers in trades?
You know what?
Agent acquisitions?
I'm replacing Elton Brand with Chris Webber.
Okay.
I don't know if I can agree.
Because wasn't Chris Webber more effective than Elton Brand?
Chris Webber was.
I don't remember that being the case. I mean, maybe it was. I know they didn't. He wasn't here that long, and him and Iverson didn't gel. I mean, it was cool, but like it didn't translate on the court. So I don't know.
I think Chris Webber did his thing.
I think Chris Webber was more serviceable than Elton Brand was at the time.
Yeah, definitely. I think Chris Webber did his thing.
I don't know, man. We had a better team when Webber was here.
I mean,
Brand had to do more because there was nobody here.
I mean, he could be.
He was leaning on him more.
Yeah, he could most definitely be a bust, but I just wouldn't put him in the top 5, maybe.
Honorable mention.
Yeah, I definitely would put him in
mention.
that. Yeah, honorable mention.
I like Chris Webber. I just, last time he got here, it was,
I think I could find a couple more that was worse than Chris Webber. Yeah.
I'm just trying to take out Brand off that list because I'm not feeling that.
Why? Because it's current GM and you don't want to
Because I
hurt nobody's feelings.
Because I don't feel like he was a bust.
Anybody saying anything in your chat over there, Brandon? I don't know if you can see it.
We need more MMA talk.
That's what he wants?
Yeah.
MMA.
My guy Rob at the Esh, my guy Rob from Echelon.
He wants to talk MMA?
He wants to talk MMA.
I mean, as per requested, we will try.
We will, definitely, man. I'll see you on Monday, but we're going to talk about it.
We can do WWE too. We'll do the whole thing. Or I'll do it by myself.
Ask him if he wants to come on the show.
Yeah.
If you want to come and talk MMA, we're equipped enough to have a conversation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, he definitely is. He's really he's a smart guy.
So we could do that. So I guess we can. How much time? We're at 45. So I guess we're gonna save the Eagles. We don't have the list in front of us as far as Eagles bust, but we can run down that list of top 5 Eagles busts we have. Number 1, Nambi Asamoah. Byron Maxwell's up there.
Byron Maxwell. The guy I spent $130 on his jersey, and he wasn't even there next year.
Byron Maxwell?
No.
Or who?
I'll give you one more shot.
Who was it?
Give you one more.
Awesome. No, not Asamoah. No. DeMarco Murray.
DeMarco Murray.
You do have that jersey, and you wear it faithfully.
I wear it faithfully. I like DeMarco Murray.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
And I'm so mad at Chip Kelly that we didn't use him the right way like we were supposed to.
I told you why, because he got ran into the ground by Dallas. And
not even that. We just like.
And we ran him east to west too, so that was a big problem.
He's up the middle guy. Why are you running up the spread with an up the middle guy?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if you're gonna do some like inside handoffs, but why is he going out? Outside the tackle. Yeah.
Javon Curse could be up there. He had 6 sacks in his first 7 games and then kind of fell off from there.
No, I like Javon Curse.
You think he was?
I
guess I would call him a bust.
No, he's definitely because you got to understand you had that mold, that gel. You had Jeremiah Trotter, Brian Dawkins, Javon Curse. You know what I'm saying? Corey Stein, the whole Darren Walker. That was
that's NFL 2K5.
That was older than that. Yeah, but. That's what I'm saying. Like that,
Honey Jones.
I think there's room to say that together as a unit, they were close to unstoppable as it gets. Maybe if you single them out, but they were all good together as a unit. Now, if they ventured off by themselves to different teams, and when Javon Curse was in Tennessee, he wasn't all that. But as far as the Midnight Green, he definitely was. He was definitely a big factor in what we did defensively with Jim Johnson.
Yeah, that's all they've been trying to do since Jim Johnson left, was trying to replace that. And I thought when we got Jim Schwartz, I was like, we got that mean streak back, but then he wants to leave cornerbacks on islands and not blitz ever in life. Mm-hmm. So now we have that. Yeah, so that's that. He'll blitz once every 3 games.
We're only rushing 4 players.
If we don't get home with 4 players, we're not getting home at
all. Listen. You know what? If we're talking about it, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Everybody's saying how you feel about Jim Schwartz. I like Jim Schwartz. Don't get me wrong. But here's the thing: when you're only rushing 4 guys and you're not blitzing. And we still can't cover these receivers.
Yeah, that's the thing.
There's an issue.
How are we only rushing 4 guys and we only in single coverage? What are the linebackers doing?
That's what I'm saying. And then non-existent. You never get not Nigel Bradham. Nigel Bradham's on top of the list for anybody, but you still don't get his name called. Of course, Jordan Hicks, he's always out. He's not really a factor or anything like that. Grugier Hill, he doesn't do much besides special teams. Where are these linebackers at? And you wonder why. It's like when you see them run the ball, they run 12, 13, 15 yards. It's like the linebackers they're not even there.
Yeah.
Like it's like we're playing with 9 guys.
We're playing zone is what it is. Or they're trying to spy the quarterback. One of them is trying to spy the quarterback, and the other 2 are going to play zone in a certain space. And then Jim Schwartz thinks he can just leave quarterbacks on islands. Like you can't leave. Like Jalen Mills doesn't have the speed to be left by himself. Ronald Darby doesn't have the tackling to be left by himself. So say Ronald Darby sticks somebody. He runs a curl route. He catches it, and it's up to Darby to make that tackle, or he's going for another 20 yards. 9 out of 10 times, Darby's not making that tackle. So that's why we get beat on those routes. Jalen Mills. He can tackle, but his problem is that he doesn't have the speed. So players like DeAndre Hopkins and the quicker ones are going to get right past Jalen Mills.
Here's the thing why people get misconstrued about Jalen Mills. He has the speed. Like he can keep up
with number 1 receivers.
I've seen him keep up with a number 1 receiver. The only thing that hurts him is when he gets put on a double move. Yeah, his speed is good, but his acceleration to get to that speed is not so good. That's the way I would look at it.
So his top speed is good, but
he
takes too long to get there.
Yeah, he takes
12 seconds to get from 0 to 60.
Yeah. So that's why when he plays off, you can see him backpedaling, and then he switches real quick. He can pick up that speed real quick, and he can go neck and neck with anybody. But as far as if you get him a little shake and bake, little double move, he's gonna fall over, or he's gonna Oh, and he's gonna start from zero again, from gear one.
Who's the one that got beat? Oh, it was Brazil Douglas who got beat by Mark Cooper.
Douglas, yeah, that was
all game long. Yeah, but Brazil Douglas has the ball hawk, and I think he'll be all right. I think he might be the future at safety.
And you know it's funny, and you know it's funny. Rasul was gonna be my bust of last season, not last.
Oh,
season,
he was a bust
prior
last
season. He was a bust. Yeah, he was a bust to me a year ago. This time last year, you know. So I'm glad to see him picking it up. You know, definitely glad to see that. And I think to be honest, I think Rasul Douglas and Jalen Mills kind of switched places in that aspect.
Rasul's above Jalen Mills on.
I think here's the thing. I think Rasul actually improved his game while Jalen Mills took a step back.
Yeah, and Jalen also didn't play the end of the year, so we saw a lot more of Rasul in that regard.
He did it, but you know, it's still from what we've seen from them. I think Jalen Mills took a huge step back. Yeah, that he was just too hyped last.
I don't know if he wasn't say a step back. I think he just didn't. He didn't take a big jump forward. Like I don't think he went backwards by any means. I just he was complacent. He didn't go either way. People see the thing about Jalen Mills is that people see the green hair and they be like, "Oh, he's the best quarterback we got." So you know they think he bleeds Philly and all that stuff, which is fine. You know, and I do like Jalen Mills. I just the cornerback group is going to be interesting this season when we have. Yeah. So what is it? Mills, Douglas, Sidney Jones, and that
Ronald Darby
experiment. And Darby, if he comes back, he's a free agent now.
Yeah, I think it was something.
It's interesting. It's gonna be.
The
thing is that with our cornerbacks, we don't have one. Like we don't have a number one corners. We have a bunch of 2 and 3s that we're trying to find. A diamond in the rough with the number one. Ronald Darby, everybody's like he's clearly cornerback one, but then he showed last year he couldn't be. And now we have Rasul Douglas and Sidney Jones and all these other guys in the mix, and Devontae Maddox and all these other guys that could potentially be better. So they might just have to rotate the 5 guys.
Well, man, in this situation, it's kind of cheaper to keep her. You know what I mean? If we don't have to pay for one stud cornerback, you know what I mean? We just gel these young guys and keep. You know, I think we should more spend our money on developing these young guys that are like 2 and 3 string. You know what I mean? Versus trying to pay X amount of money for a big stud.
Exactly.
You know, definitely.
Which is why Rashad probably say
yeah, I mean, I like the guy. Actually, I like this. You know, they're not the best, but I like the secondary we have now. I see a lot of potential in them, especially if they get enough time playing together on the field.
You know who we should get? This is on the running back topic, but I think Tevin Coleman is a free agent this year, and he will complement Carson Wentz really well. He catches out the backfield, and he's shown that he could handle the load when Devontae Freeman was down for Atlanta. So I like Tevin Coleman a lot.
See, we have receiving backs. I want to see more.
More other than Darren Sproles, who else?
I want to see a workload back.
Yeah, other than Darren Sproles, who's
Corey Clement.
Okay.
Yeah,
fair enough. Mm-hmm.
And then we didn't see a lot of him because
you want a bell cow back. Somebody.
I want to see a workhorse back. I'm tired of seeing this running back by committee. No, I told you my issue with Josh Adams a long time ago. He runs a little too high. He has more tendency to put the ball on the ground, or he leaves himself open with a higher percentage to put the ball on the ground. And we did see that towards the end. We hyped him up, and then he fumbled 2 times in 2 weeks. And it was just I kind of knew that already. It's a certain running style that you can see the way he runs that okay, something's a little bit off. He has a good read ability. He can hit those holes, but as far as technique, I think his technique's a little off. Now he does have some room to improve on that. I can see him getting better, but as of right now, from what we've seen based off of last season, we're not next year yet, but that's where I'm at with it. I think we really need to work on getting the workhouse back. Somebody that can help Carson Wentz. Which is why somebody that get at least 20 carries a game.
Which is why when we asked him what Le'Veon gave us on, who would you? As far as Antonio Brown and Le'Veon, who would you go after?
Le'Veon, but we can't afford him.
The thing about, and this will be our last point real quick before we wrap up. So the Antonio Brown thing, and should the Eagles go after him? My thing with that is that if we bring Antonio Brown in here and automatically demote Alshon to wide receiver 2, that's already gonna cause an issue. And also I can't remember the last time a receiver ever won a championship for a team, unless you want to kind of count when we got to our loans. Like he was a big reason why we got to
the just about to say T.O.
Yeah, like T.O. like
he is the new T.O. if you want to look at it.
Yeah, I know he's the best receiver in the game, but if Antonio Brown comes here, does that make us Super Bowl favorites?
No.
Exactly. So
we definitely need a running back more before we get a
receiver. Exactly. And I don't think receivers are not what we need, even in lieu of Golden Tate leaving and Mike Wallace and Jordan Matthews and that whole who's leaving, who's staying. We'll still have Alshon there, and we have Ertz and Goddard and whatever else we're going to be able to throw to. And as far as that, so I think
I'll tell you what though, I'll see every other receiver staying here besides Jordan Matthews.
Jordan Matthews is going to be the one gone.
He's going to be the one gone.
We bring back Wallace and Tate. It's going to be a lot of money.
Maybe, no, I see Wallace going too, but I definitely see
Tate. You bring back of the 3, Tate's coming back.
I see Tate coming back.
Yeah. I think Liam made it. Liam almost convinced me to bring back Jordan Matthews that night.
No, he didn't convince me.
Because I was thinking go to Tate. He said, "Yeah, sounds good," until he got off the line. He's like,
yeah. But he sounded good while he said it. He plays big. You got the gift.
I'm sitting here like, all right, Jordan Matthews sounds very good. I was going back watch the tape, and I'm like, not so much.
Yeah.
But I was still bringing Golden. It's tough. And so we really have to hope that Golden Tate. Well, we would have to hope that Golden Tate is really going to be used this year. That's the thing. If we're going to bring him back in.
Well, we need a whole off season. If we give him that chance, who knows?
Yeah,
Sky's the limit.
True.
He didn't have a whole off season.
Protect the cats later. All you got to do is phone screen. That was my argument. But they wasn't. Yeah, slant, something, a curl route. Let him go. That's the what we always argue. We argue about wide receivers.
I'm not the biggest fan of wide receiver screens, actually.
Because of their percentage of being
effective. Yeah.
Those blockers don't do the job.
I just think we run them too frequently to be effective. There's certain situations where you plug in those plays, but it shouldn't be your go-to on every other drive. Every other possession you're doing a wide receiver screen for no reason.
You're talking as far as Eagles, like the Eagles call team, maybe? Is that what you're saying?
Well, yeah, that's only
Philadelphia. Oh, I didn't know if you were saying like the NFL in general calls team. I'm not sure.
No, the Eagles.
Oh yeah, well that's because and Doug Peterson
less well calls
right. Doug Peterson calls them a weird spot too, like 3rd and 2.
Yeah.
Oh man, Roger
screen. 3rd and 2, the ball should not be placed behind the line of scrimmage.
But the issue is that we didn't have a confident enough running back to get those yards, which is why we didn't.
No, we didn't have a confident running back. We weren't confident enough in our running back.
That's what I'm saying. No, that's what I meant.
That was the issue there, and that's something that I could actually touch on that we actually fell off from last season. Is like we had the utmost confidence in all our players, whether it was the 1st string or was the 4th string. I don't know. I feel like we lost. I feel like Doug Peterson kind of lost that this season. I noticed that he wasn't as confident as some of these guys in some of these situations. He was a little bit less aggressive in areas that he was known for being aggressive in, like on that championship run we had a year ago. So I think that's one big thing too.
That's because no running back stood away from the group that they could get those yards until Smallwood late.
But you don't know.
Real late.
You don't know if they can get them until you give them a shot.
Yeah, Smallwood proved to be able to do it later.
Yeah, exactly. Smallwood but if we did that earlier, imagine how much better it would have turned out.
We can have always argue about what just happened. Like, what if that overtime game in Dallas didn't go that way?
I get that, but
Alshon caught that ball in New Orleans.
All I'm saying is you don't know till you try. You got to give them that shot. If you don't give them a chance to prove you wrong, how you gonna tell them they can't do it?
This is why we get it back in the draft, and then we can give them that shot. Hopefully that works. So that was our plan. We're coming to the end of this edition of the podcast. You guys can follow us at facebook.com/Philly Special Podcast. You can follow us on Twitter at the Philly Pod. You can listen to us on Apple, SoundCloud. What else are we on? Spotify. I was losing my head. Spotify, Stitcher. We thank you to whoever joined us live on Anchor, live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter /Periscope, whatever they want to call it, and Podbean, and everything else we're on. And we just submitted to iHeartRadio the other day.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that. So we're just waiting to get approved by them. They take forever. So once they approve us, we'll be on that. You can follow me personally on Twitter, BGW3_. We're not having an underscore argument today.
We're not doing enough of that. But you can catch me at _KBL6.
And you can follow our audio engineer at A-Thoven Beats. There's no underscores in yours, right?
No, sir.
No, sir. A-Thoven Beats. Until the next edition.
That's a grown man right there.
I'm gonna find a way to cut them off after we get off now. Now everyone want to talk about it all the time.
Little side note, no for anything. Listen, Bamboo, we're sorry. I don't know what we did.
Can you bring us back?
Listen, Bamboo, I love your bags, man.
Listen,
we can get you back on here, man. Listen, I will advertise you every 30 seconds. I promise. I promise, man. You just gotta give me one shot. Okay?
Speaking of that, you can of course always support us on the Patreon at patreon.com/Philly Special Podcast and join our exclusive packages on there. The silver tier gets you the keychain and some other shout outs, and the gold tier gets you the t-shirt and all the other stuff that comes with the Patreon post and all that other fun stuff. But until then, also stay tuned. We have some new clothing designs coming out. So stay tuned. Keep an eye out for that. Yep, we're designing a new product. All right, so it's gonna be really tough. It's gonna actually look like stuff you want to wear. Yeah. How about that? It's gonna be a little bit cheaper too. So. A little bit cheaper, yeah. Slash the prices a little bit. Yeah. But until the next episode, guys, thank you for joining us. Peace. Have a good weekend, you guys. What was that music playing in the background? Yeah, go. Oh, yeah. I like that. The last episode, the music in the background. I think it was just too many people in here to really know. No, it wasn't live last time. I put that in afterwards, but now it's already ready. Yeah. The more we do it, man, you know what I mean? Like the more we get to know how we gotta do it. My phone's here. Oh, is it? I got a case on, so I can't tell. Oh, yeah, it is. Oh, yeah, 50 views on my joint. 50 views, 11 comments. Yeah, save it, bro.
And all that.
Yeah.
Did you ever hit record?
I did.